Hello fellow builders, Crystal Run County welcomes you back to another video. In the last video, new arrivals established the town of Mystic Haven across from the power plant. Now, GhostFox101 Minerals and Metals have agreed to set up a new mining and manufacturing complex in the ore-rich mountainside of Bir Darul Run. Also, Dell's Nature's Delights of the Vine, Vineyard, and HereComesJJ's Livestock and Living are all taking advantage of the tax incentives set up by Bir Darul Run and have plans to establish their businesses there. Let's check on them and see how the businesses are developing, starting with GhostFox101 Minerals and Metals. As you can see here, the county unemployment is 14%, so we do have plenty of people that are hungry for work and would definitely appreciate working at these 3 different businesses. It looks like some initial sites were established and the extraction of the minerals are started. Now it's time to break ground for some of the processing buildings to make metal and glass. What I'm going to do is create some tiered locations to place the processing plants. We do have to contend with some elevation challenges in the area. So creating those tiered locations will help step up the elevation as we get farther into the mountain. Just going to add a few road structures, and I'm going to use the dirt road. I'm probably just going to keep the dirt road as well. If you're familiar with the channel, you know I advocate for staggering the assets, which is basically looking at the numbers. I'm an engineer, so looking at numbers is my thing, so hopefully it's your thing too. And what you do is you make sure the numbers are just offset, staggered, desynchronized, however you want to say it. That way trucks are being released at different times, which means less trucks on the road, which means you don't need really big roads for your industry. You can just do it on dirt roads like I'm doing here. Now that the rotary kiln is down in the fiberglass plant, let's go ahead and do some work behind the main building. GhostFox101 Minerals and Metals is coming along nicely so far. I'm going to do some detailing and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and take a peek at how Dell's Nature's Delights of the Vine Vineyard is coming along. Initially, the vineyard was set up at Crystal Rapids, but Crystal Rapids wants to redevelop this area, and the incentives in Bir Darul Run has made it an easy business decision to have them reestablish the vineyard in this section here. So what we're going to do is have the vineyard kind of in the back where it says vineyard/substation. We'll have the main entrance building right off the 4-lane concrete road. So we'll work on that first. And I think I'm going to put it up on a hill. It'll make it look nice and stand out, making it a feature of the town. And that looks good so far. I'm going to do some more touch-up work, but let's go ahead and establish the actual vineyard. I'm going to kind of put it in like a rectangle. And the idea is going to be, it's going to be on a hill. Because orchards and farms accept the terrain, it gives you the opportunity to create rolling hills, valleys, just different terrain elements to give it a little bit more interesting feel instead of it being completely flat. And what I'm doing here is using the small orchard. I have one path worth of separation between them so that we can run the dirt path. Make it look like trucks and stuff go through there between the actual orchards themselves. Separate them just a little bit. Then we're going to put some barns and stuff in that vacant center. You know, I really think the bird and bee haven will look really good in this area. So let's go ahead and incorporate that unique building into this build as well. It's looking pretty sharp so far. I want to do a little bit of tweaking in the front here. I think I want to add some parking, some of the local and organic produce zoning, as well as one of the unique parks or plazas that we have. Just kind of see how all that looks. I really think the friendly neighborhood park's going to look really nice in here. So let's go ahead and add that. It's looking good so far. I'm going to do some detail work behind the scenes. Let's go ahead and check back on GhostFox101 Minerals and Metals and see how the mining manufacturing company is making out. We ride across a nice concrete 4-lane bridge with a steel plant on the left with a nice entryway in the front. And then we work our way into GhostFox101 Minerals and Metals. I added some rocks along the quarry. I also left some open spots for future expansion. And it's producing enough material to feed our unique factories as well as export some metal and glass. And a nice wide shot of it. It looks really nice tucked up on a hill. Onward now to Dale's Nature's Delights of the Vine, Vineyard, and check on how that business is establishing itself. Looks like they set up a lemonade factory on the left of the vineyard. We have a beautiful entryway lined with some fencing into the vineyard. We have a water tower, some silos, maintenance building from our campus and our farming industry. By the bird and bee haven, I thought it'd be nice to add the art club from our liberal arts campus, the parking lots, and behind that we have the friendly neighborhood park. I zoned some organic and local produce with those little stands. We have a nice gentle hill where our vineyard is located. I did some road tricks to get the barns right in the middle with a driveway. And across from the vineyard, we have HereComesJJ's Livestock and Living. I use the horse stable as the main building for this area. In the front of the main building, we have a parking lot and the cattle barn. We're going to use the cattle barn as kind of, well, a big barn. I plan to zone a little bit more of the organic and local produce, much like we did with the vineyard. Some of those farmer market type stands next to the cattle barn. So still a little bit of work to do in this area. We have some pastures along the water. It looks really pretty. It's beautiful views, really. And once again, just like the crops in the orchards, the pastures can take some terrain So it's nice to kind of play with the terrain and get different looks. And in this area we have our slaughterhouse, a few of the flour mills, some of the storage for our different products that we're making. The milk parlor and bakery are also in this area. And you'll see in the bottom right, I fenced off a few areas to show some pastures that aren't being used right now, as well as some dirt pathing around the main building. Makes it look like it's connected, and you can bring some horses out in this area. Maybe there's some horse trails. Let's go ahead and take a nice wide shot of Here Comes JJ's Livestock and Living. Along the coast here, I'm planting some mansions. See the label here. For those who post a comment on 3 consecutive videos from here on out, will get their own mansion on the water. Of course, I'll continue to name something after those who post a comment. This is just something a bit more special. Word of the area continues to spread rapidly, and rumors have it another developer is looking to develop this area in the hills to create a town where wealthy corporate types can get out of the city to enjoy the beauty this area has to offer. We'll have to check in on their progress next episode, and until then, I wish you the best and brightest cities you can build, and as always, happy building.